Hello everybody, welcome back to another guide. Today we are gonna feature one of the only AP assassin currently in League of Legends Wildrift to be added with Evelyn and Akali, Fizz. So Fizz is basically the only, as I said, the only AP assassin. However, he will be accompanied by Akali and Evelyn in the next patch, which I will make guides on when they released, especially with Darius and Draven. So Fizz is also known as the Blade Playful Trickster, an AP assassin. So basically, an assassin is somebody that's mobile, can burst a champion, and has a lot of escapes, a lot of tools, a lot of great things. However, assassins can fall off really quickly. Essentially, they are high risk, high reward. Fizz pops off early game, he essentially can carry the whole game. However, if he falls short in the early game, do not expect him to carry. So let's talk about his abilities. Now first, let's talk about his passive. Now his passive is Sea Stone Trident, which attacks deal an additional 22 damage plus 40% AP over 3 seconds. Essentially, this is a mini Liandry's Torment. For example, if you have Ignite on and then you all in, but he escapes, don't worry, Sea Stone Trident has your back. It's a burn damage essentially. It's a mini Scorch. However, there's no Scorch rune in Wildrift. Hopefully, they will add it. So yeah, that's his passive. Now let's go on and talk about his Q, or his first ability, Urgent Strike, which has a base cooldown of 8 seconds and has 50% mana. Fizz dashes through a target dealing 10 damage plus 55% AP ratio plus 58 physical damage, 100% of your AD, and applying on-hit effects. So this is interesting since this is the only AD ratio ability on Fizz. Now the Q is mainly just more on AD. Essentially, when you first ability, everybody in the path of his Urgent Strike will get on-hit effects and deal the same damage. However, the base damage on this Urgent Strike when you go AP is really small, and I think the level up, I think it maxes out at 50 or 70, I believe. However, the physical damage does scale a lot. So back in a couple seasons ago, AD Fizz was really meta, as well as tank Fizz. However, a few seasons ago they already nerfed it, so basically the only way you can go Fizz right now is just AP. However, if you're having fun with your friends, you can try out an AD build. However, I'm not gonna feature it on this guide since this is an in-depth guide on how to play Fizz correctly. So we're done talking about his first ability. Now let's talk about his second ability, which is Rending Wave. Rending Wave has a base cooldown of 10 seconds and consumes 30 mana. So basically, second ability empowers the next attack to deal 50 damage, bonus magic damage, plus 50% of your AP ratio. Additional attacks within 5 seconds deal 10 bonus magic damage, which is 10 plus 35% of your AP. Now, Rending Wave has a 10-second base cooldown. However, when you kill a unit using your first attack with a Rending Wave, the cooldown goes to 1 second. Now, Rending Wave is one of the best abilities if you're learning how to CS correctly, since this is basically an execute just like Annie's Q. However, it's in melee range. Now, Rending Wave is really good too if you all in, since basically if you already hit your... I'm not sure if it's the same as in League of Legends Wild Rift, because in League of Legends PC, if you... Oh wait, no, they actually removed it. Never mind, they removed it if I recall. The Rending Wave, once you hit an enemy champion, it stacks, and then once you go all in and you W, it will crit. But I think it doesn't do that anymore. Let me know in the comments if it still does it. If I remember, they removed that a couple patches ago, a couple of seasons ago actually. So yeah, Rending Wave is a last hit, a CSing, and a execute at least. So let's talk about his third ability, which is Playful / Trickster. Now, Playful Trickster has a 16-second cooldown, base cooldown, and consumes 95 mana. So this is his main ability. So Playful, which is the first cast, he vaults to a target location, becoming untargetable while balancing on the trident. After 1.2 seconds, Fizz hops down with a large splash that deals 70 damage plus 70% of your AP ratio and slows enemy hit by 40 to 2 seconds. Now his second cast, which is Trickster, hops down early towards a location but dealing as in a smaller splash that does not slow enemies. So yeah, so basically this is Fizz's main ability, since this is an escape, untargetable, and it has a lot. So for example, let's start with Fizz here. This is Fizz, and he casts E, so his E's ratio is just that big. However, he hops into that direction. However, if you recast it, you can do another one. However, it's more smaller, and still does the same damage, and removing the and does not have the slow anymore. However, it's still a session tool skin because it's untargetable. So if you go all in, this will help you, especially if you're up against an Ari, which is a charm. If you go all in without minions covering for you for a charm, you are dead spot. You are gonna be 100% hit with the charm. You can just use Playful Trickster, which you can avoid. Yeah, that's why Fizz is one of the good AP assassins, since he has a lot of mobility with his Q first, with his Q, and his E, which is an untargetable hop, a dash. I'm not sure how to describe it, however it's that. So basically, this is his main ability. You want to max this first. Now, a lot of guides, I have seen a lot of guides in YouTube where they max W, which is wrong. We will talk about that later, why maxing W is useless because of your item build. Basically, you want to max E since this is your main escape and you want the cooldown to be down a lot, and it has the highest AP ratio compared to the two abilities except for the ulti. Now, let's talk about Fizz's ultimate, or his fourth ability, which is Chum the Waters. Now, Chum the Waters is one of the most intricate of all ultis in League of Legends, since the damage that you deal is actually based on how far you throw the fish. So Chum the Waters has a base cooldown of 65 seconds, which can be changed with your items, and has a lot and consumes 100 mana. Now, Chum the Waters has almost the same as his third ability, Playful Trickster, has the same mana consuming. However, I think Playful Trickster goes down to goes up to 110, and Chum the Waters just stays 100 for all of his levels. I'm not sure. So Chum the Waters, Fizz launches a fish. Oh, right. Fizz launches a fish. Try saying that 10 times. Fizz launches a fish. Blah, blah, blah. Fizz launches a fish in a target direction that attaches to the first champion hit and reveals them. So that's really good if you're trying to throw it in a bush, if you can see the champion. After 2 seconds, the fish attracts a shark that knocks off the target and knocks away enemies around them. The farther the fish travels, the larger the shark it will attract, dealing 150 damage to 350 magic damage. 150 plus 60% to 350 to 100. 20% AP ratio. Basically, if you throw it very far, it will deal the most damage. That's good though. That's really good. And slowing enemies hit by 40 to 80% based on the size of the shark. So there are 3 sizes. So let me draw that. Let's say Fizz is right here. Fizz is right here. If you throw it this wide, let's say really near, the shark size will be just that, the same size as you. There's the mid-range, which is really around really small still, and there's the far range, which is the largest one, which is that big. Basically, it has a good AoE too, since it has a slow. That's how big. I'm exaggerating, but I know it's that big. So basically, it's a slow too. It can help you. It can change the team fight because it has a CC, it has a knockup. You get the point. His ulti is really good. So when maxing the abilities, of course, we all know you have to prioritize maxing your ulti, which is your fourth ability. Next, you have to max out your E, or your third ability. So 4, 3, and basically it's just 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 and 1. So you want to max Urchin Strike, your first ability, last, since it's basically just a AD. The ratios on it is basically just AD, so you want to max your abilities, which has the AP ratio, since you're gonna build AP ratio. However, if you're gonna experiment in solo queue, in normal games, you can just play him AD. You max first and then you max W. Basically, that's it. Fizz is an AP magic damage ratio. You want to max your ulti first into the third. 4, 3, 2, 1. Just remember that. Now let us talk about his items. Now this is the only item set you must go on Fizz. You cannot change anything. Maybe add a Rod of Ages if you want. However, that will not work. Luden's Echo can be good. Changing the Leandris to Morello depending on the team comp of the enemy team. However, you cannot change this. I swear to God, if you build a Hextech Gunblade, you will just ruin your AP ratios. Now, okay, let's talk about the items. Lichbane. Basically, the Lichbane is gonna be the first item since Hextech Protobell is just an activatable boot upgrade. It essentially just you can just skip it and go to Lichbane. Lichbane, however, has low mana, so you have to be really careful when you're spending your mana. Let's say you throw your ulti, you only have around 70% of your mana, I think 80 at the most. However, the Sheen actually just helps you out in that area since it's a mana item. Yeah, it's a mana item. So essentially you want this. Now this is the reason. Lichbane, since you have Lichbane, there is no reason, I repeat, there is no reason to max your second ability. So because of you have Lichbane, do not max your ability. Second ability, you want to max third ability. Now next is Infinity Orb. We already talked in the past two videos how Infinity Orb is really broken, and I think this item has been built for AP mages, AP assassins, just like Fizz. And when Akali and Evelyn drop down, this will be very good for them, since this is basically an execute for all AP users. Actually, not just Fizz, Annie, Ari. Oh my god, I forgot. Ari is an assassin. I forgot about that. Alright. Fizz is not the only... but Ari goes back to... well, yeah. Ari is an AP assassin. Oh my god. God, I forgot about that. Anyways, Ari with Infinity Orb is really good. Basically, all of the AP people is really good with Infinity Orb, since this item is really good. Since it's an execute, it crits. If there's a champion that's 35%, you can basically kill them because of the Infinity Orb. Now, Stasis or the Hourglass, you can change that to the Hextech Pro Belt if you want for more mobility. However, if you're all inning, the Stasis is really good, especially if you're Fizz, since you will most likely be in the back line by the end of the team fight. However, you can hold out Stasis for a while and build other items. For example, if you're way ahead, you can go for a Rabadon's third item rather than upgrading your boots. I mean, you can get the Merc Treads. You can get Merc Treads instead of and Merc Treads first, but skip upgrading it to Stasis for the fourth item. Basically, your buying third item will be Rabadon's. Or you can use Leandris, or you can go Morello if you want. If for the Grievous Wounds, however, you already have Ignite, so I think there's no point in buying Morello Nomicon. Basically, if you're buying Morello Nomicon, it's a sin. Yeah, basically, since the only thing, here's the thing, every mid laner knows this. The only reason why you build Morello Nomicon is because of the Oblivion Orb. That's how you build Azir, if I remember, because when you play Azir, you only first buy Lost Chapter, and then you get Nashor's Tooth, and then you get Oblivion Orb, and then you build Ludens, and then basically hold the Oblivion Orb until the last item as Morello Nomicon. So yeah. So, of course, the last two items will always be constant, which will be Rabadon's and the Void Stuff, as always, for all the mages, for all magic damage dealing champions. So for spells, this time we're gonna go Ignite. Since Fizz is an assassin, you want Ignite. However, you can also go Exhaust. Since for example, if you're up against a Yasuo or any EDC that's already popped off, once you put Exhaust on them, they will deal like minuscule damage at the most. Alright, now here's the part where we talk about the runes. And also, don't forget, these are the only items you should build on Fizz. Do not build a Hextech Gunblade, please. because that negates so much of the abilities. Doesn't negate so much of the potential of Fizz. You may argue that the Hextech Gunblade has Spell Vamp, also has Omnivamp, rather, not Spell Vamp, Omnivamp, and also has AD ratios. It's still wrong though, because Fizz is really just a burst champion and he has a lot of mobility, so there's no need to get that healing from him. Alright, so let's go on to his runes. So there are basically oh, I keep saying basically, there are 3 runes on Fizz. So this is the first rune set that I personally go if I play Fizz, because early game you already have magic penetration. That's really good. This is for if you all in and if you're really low on health rather than mana. It will help you regen that, and you can go this outside of combat movement speed, since you're gonna gank a lot in the laning phase. Once you hit level 5, you will gank a lot. You have to gank a lot because you are an AP assassin. You're an assassin essentially, so ganking lanes will be really easy because you have a mobility, a lot of CC. Now let's talk about his second rune set, which is this. This is what I go if I play Fizz in League of Legends PC. Essentially, since there is no precision tree, since it's all one tree, you can go Electrocute and then Triumph. Now, Triumph is really good because it can give you health. It's a clutch rune essentially. If you're really low health and the enemy team ignited you and you kill them, you can get an instant heal and plus gold. Now here's the rune that I will most likely go if I go this rune. The Rhino guy. I don't know. You can switch it up to this rune. Since these two offer tenacity, which is really good, to be honest. Tenacity is one of the most important things in Wildrift, especially if the enemy team is CC heavy. Now I picked this rune because since you're an APS, since you're gonna roam a lot, having that rune will give your allies 50 gold as well, and you have 50 gold plus 50, so essentially you're actually having 400 gold. You can go... No, there's really no point. It's either just this or this. I mean, you can go Genius Hunter. However, there's really no point because Fizz's abilities when maxed out in the late game, they already have a low cooldown. So yeah, this is the second rune set. Now there's a third rune set. However, this is very, very, very situational. That's the Conqueror rune set. So since Fizz is really a melee champion at heart, you can have an AP scaling rune just like Conqueror. Once you stack that up, you will have a lot of AP. However, this is very, very situational. I repeat, if you are confident that you are gonna have a very neutral lane, you can just go Conqueror, so you can actually just scale late game. So this is really, really, really situational. So I just recommend you go Electrocute since you're an assassin. However, if you're gonna go Conqueror, be my guest. However, I do not recommend this rune. It can work at times, but it most likely won't. It's situational. Like again, if you're against another melee champion, let's say Zed, you can use this. It will proc really quickly. For those who don't have escape, you already get the point. Of course, you have to go Magic Pen because you're actually having Conqueror, since Conqueror is gonna stack your magic damage, and having some magic penetration would be really good. Of course, we're gonna get the Rhino for tenacity. You can actually switch that to that if you want, which is basically the same. And this rune, the Lone Wolf Pack Wolf, I don't know, you get 50 gold, 50 gold. You can go for Honey Fruit too if you want, but it depends on the match. Now let's talk about the early game, mid game, and late game. I do not have the map. Give me a second. Give me a second. I don't have the map. Oh no. I do not have the map. Okay, here we go. Now, okay. This is perfect because there's already a Fizz on the red side, so we're gonna use him. Fizz is basically a very roaming champion. You want to last hit all of the minions, get to level 5 at the most, so you can begin ganking. So basically, you can gank bot lane, dragon lane. I think dragon lane is up here. No, dragon lane is still bot lane. Okay. Dragon Lane is still bot lane. Dragon Lane, you haven't to go to Dragon Lane since bot lane is one of the most easiest to gank. Since that mostly if there's an Ashe, once you hit your ulti on him, he's basically dead. Unless, or you can just trade her for her flash and her heal barrier depending on what abilities spells she has. So yeah, mid game you want to, in team fights you want to go, if for example they're scrambling in the dragon pit, go in the dragon pit, you will win. If you hit your max range ulti, it will change the tides, even if your team is losing because of the CC. So in late game 2, basically that's it. If there's a team fight, go. There's no point in just farming with Fizz, since Fizz is an assassin. You want to target the backline, the ADC, or maybe a squishy mid laner. Let's say if it's an Orianna. Since an Orianna will focus on the ball being inside the team fight, she has no protection unless she eats her third abilities herself and ultis on herself, which you can escape with your third ability. That's basically it. Fizz early game, farm as much as you can. Once you hit level 5, you go roam. You can actually take the scuttle if you want. If let's say the scuttle is available, take the scuttle. Yeah, even if that's it. Also take the raptors. If for example your jungler died or is in the blue side, take the raptors so you can have that extra XP and gold. If your team is behind, just go for the backline. Don't engage if your team is behind. Let's say you don't have the first tower and they're still pushing with the Rift Herald. Do not engage unless you are 5-man. Let's say if there's the Jax, you can go in, stun all of them. You can easily hit your max range ulti, changing the tides of the game. Basically like that. Fizz, if you're playing Fizz in the late game, mid game, wait for an opportunity for a good ultimate. For example, if you have a top lane, let's say, who's the best top lane right now? Camille catches out an ADC or a very squishy champion, let's say Graves or Orianna. You can all in immediately. Basically, that's it. So thank you guys for watching. That's my guide on Fizz. So for the next weeks, I think it's patch 1.0 at the moment because regional beta testing is already out. So if you're playing League of Legends right now on the Wildrift, please watch my videos on how to play Orianna, Annie, and Ziggs. They're all out on my channel. And I'm gonna make a guide on how to play Evelynn, Akali, Darius, Draven, and Seraphine, and Kai'Sa once they come out. Since I already main Kai'Sa, I think I'm gonna do her first. Oh, this is gonna be hard actually because Kai'Sa relies on Ginsu and there's no Ginsu in the game. However, there's Nashor's. Oh, this is gonna be fun. And I think I'm gonna do a guide next on Seraphine since I already use her on the PvE. And then next will be Evelynn. Of course, all of the KDA members I will do first, and then Akali. I will do all of the KDA members, including Ari. And then I'll do the Noxians, which are Draven and Darius. And then I think I can go back to Lee Sin. So thank you guys for watching. Please do hit that subscribe button if you want. Like the video, share the video, comment down below on who you want to see next, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.